Attention passionate Cleveland, BROWNS FANS. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Cleveland Browns' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Cleveland Browns fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show THAT you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Cleveland, BROWNS FANS. Let's get to the news now. If you've been paying close attention to the Browns this offseason, you know that things haven't exactly gone according to plan when it comes to their quarterback situation. And yes, I'm talking about Kenny Pickett, the guy Cleveland traded for back in March. The expectations were high, especially with his potential to bring a new spark to this team, but the preseason has been a bit of a bumpy ride for him. It's been a tough preseason for Pickett, and unfortunately, his injury situation has only added more uncertainty as we inch closer to the regular season. Kenny Pickett suffered a hamstring injury in late July, and since then, his journey back to full health has been a roller coaster. This injury has kept him from participating in any preseason action, and it's now clear that he won't be suiting up for the Browns' final preseason game against the Los Angeles Rams. That's right, no preseason snaps for Pickett, which is a bit of a setback for him, especially considering how much he wanted to prove himself during these games. But let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture. Cleveland acquired Kenny Pickett in a trade, and the organization was obviously excited about his potential. The coaching staff, led by Kevin Stefanski, has been supportive and positive about his progress, emphasizing that he continues to work hard to get back to full strength. On Wednesday, Stefanski mentioned that Pickett is doing everything in his power to get out there and contribute. "He's fine," Stefanski said. "A lot of this is just getting some guys ready who are playing on Saturday. Kenny's not playing Saturday." Despite the injury, Stefanski remains optimistic about Pickett's future with the team, highlighting that he's made a strong impression even with limited practice time. This is a crucial point because the Browns are now beginning to face some difficult decisions regarding their quarterback room. With the preseason wrapping up, Cleveland has to think about how they want to structure their roster. Carrying 4 quarterbacks is still on the table, and that's not an uncommon approach in the NFL. Teams want depth, especially at that position where injuries can happen so quickly. Stefanski was quite clear about his thoughts on Pickett, saying, "I'm still excited about Kenny the player, the person. I've been around him now for many months and I know what he's about. I know how he was performing. The injury was unfortunate, but it hasn't stopped him from being engaged. It hasn't stopped him from knowing exactly what's going on a day-to-day basis. He's getting as much work as he can right now, but he has performed really, really well." That's high praise from Stefanski, and it shows that even with the injury, Kenny Pickett's attitude and work ethic are making a positive impression on the coaching staff. Now, it's important to note that this injury has knocked Pickett out of the race to be the Browns' Week 1 starter. Cleveland recently announced that Joe Flacco, the 38-year-old veteran, has been named the starting quarterback for the season opener. Flacco's experience and leadership are what the Browns are banking on right now, especially given the uncertainties with the other quarterbacks. Stefanski explained that Flacco earned the job through his performance in practice, joint sessions, meetings, walkthroughs, you name it. "He earned it," Stefanski stated, "and I understand with the injuries how that may look, but that's not the case here. Joe performed really well both in practices, in the joint practices, in the meeting room, in the walkthrough, just what he's able to bring to the football team. He's earned that role." So, despite Pickett's impressive work during camp, the injury and the performance in practice have ultimately led to Flacco being named the starter for Week 1. But here's where things get even more interesting. The Browns still haven't finalized their entire quarterback depth chart. And honestly, Stefanski isn't in a rush to do so. He's taking a measured approach, emphasizing that he likes all of his quarterbacks. "Not so concerned about depth chart, honestly," he said. "I really like our guys. They continue to work very hard, all of them. As you make decisions like this, you talk to the guys and you let them in on your thought process, but all of them should consider themselves to get ready as a starter. That's how you have to handle being a backup in this league." That's a clear message to the entire quarterback room. Nothing is set in stone, and everyone needs to stay prepared, especially with the season just around the corner. Now, let's talk about Dorian Thompson-Robinson, who's been competing for a spot and has shown flashes of brilliance. He's looked good in practice and had moments of promise, but the injury situation with Sanders complicates things. Sanders, who suffered an oblique injury last week during joint practice with the Eagles, has just begun limited practice. Stefanski shared that Sanders is doing more but isn't yet sure if he'll be ready for the Rams game. "He's doing more," Stefanski said, "and the important part is just to find out how he comes out of today, how he felt, and we'll know more after practice tomorrow." It's a wait-and-see situation for Sanders, and that could impact how much he plays in the upcoming preseason game. His preseason debut on August 8 against the Panthers was promising, passing for 138 yards and 2 touchdowns. But the team wants to make sure he's fully healthy before trusting him with game reps. All of this points to a broader picture of a team that's still in the process of defining itself. The Browns have a lot of talent and a lot of competition at the quarterback position, and Stefanski's approach seems to be about building depth and keeping everyone motivated. They have a veteran like Flacco, who's proven he can run an offense effectively, especially in critical moments, but they also have young talent like Sanders and Thompson-Robinson who could develop into starters down the line. It's a balancing act, and the coaching staff is trying to get it right without rushing into premature decisions. For Browns fans, it's a mix of cautious optimism and excitement. You see the potential in Pickett, even with the injury setbacks, and you trust that Stefanski and his staff are making the right calls for the long term. The fact that Pickett has made a strong impression despite everything shows resilience and dedication, qualities that the Browns value highly. Meanwhile, Joe Flacco's experience gives the team a steady hand, especially early in the season when consistency and leadership are crucial. The injury concerns with Sanders and the uncertainty around the rest of the quarterback room highlight how unpredictable the NFL can be and how much depth and versatility teams need to succeed. Looking ahead, the Browns are going into the season with a lot of questions, but also a lot of promise. The quarterback situation is still evolving, and the team will need to see how their young players develop and how the veterans perform under pressure. The defense, which has been solid in recent years, will also play a big role in how far Cleveland can go. But as always, the passion of the Browns faithful is what keeps this team motivated. The belief that this could be the year they finally break through to the playoffs, maybe even make a deep run, is what fuels the fans' excitement. And with the AFC North being as competitive as ever, think about what the Bengals, Ravens, and Steelers are bringing to the table. Every game counts even more. Browns fans, keep your eyes on this quarterback saga. It's not just about who starts week 1, it's about the direction this team is heading. Pickett's injury and recovery, Flacco's leadership, Sanders' health, and the young guns trying to carve out their spots. This is what makes this preseason so intriguing. It's a story of resilience, competition, and strategic planning. The Browns are building something, and even with setbacks, the focus remains on sustained success and competing at the highest level. And now, Cleveland Browns fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Cleveland Browns. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Cleveland Browns news. Remember to subscribe, share this video with your friends, and keep the passion alive. The season is getting closer, and every bit of news, every injury update, every strategic move is part of your team's story. Let's keep the conversation going and support our Browns through thick and thin. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Browns.